Hi everybody, I'm Meyer and today I am talking about my May TBR. As you may notice, we have a different location going on. This is my bedroom at my dad's house. Usually I'll film my videos at my mum's house because that's where my bookshelf is and I don't want to be lugging around books everywhere, and also having the bookshelf as a background is really nice. But I didn't have time, I had so much stuff to do yesterday, and so I brought my books on my May TBR over to my dad's house, and that is what I'm doing now. So last month was the OWLs Magical Readathon, and I was living under a rock for most of April and I didn't even know this was happening. And I wanted to get in amongst it, but I knew I wouldn't be able to finish all of the books during the few days that I had left in April. And I was on one of G's live streams and someone asked if they can do the Magical Readathon in another month and then do the NEWTs in August with everyone else. And she said that was okay, so that is what I'm going to be doing. So if you don't know, the OWLs Magical Readathon is hosted by G over at Book Roast. I will link her announcement video down below if you are like me and you want to do the OWLs in a different month and then continue with the NEWTs in August. But it's basically a readathon based on the Harry Potter exams in Harry Potter, of course. And you choose a career and then you read the books to fulfill the prompts that you need to become your chosen career path. So I am going for, can you see? Yeah, I made this all spread in my reading journal. This is what it looks like. So I'm going for a Hogwarts professor because I do actually want to be a teacher when I'm older. And so here, as you can see, I need 7 OWLs, one of the subject that I want to teach, Defense Against the Dark Arts, and 5 others. So I'll be running through those in this video and what the books are about and what prompts I need to fulfill. But first, my first read, which I'm a bit way through, is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. This is a read which is not going to be part of the OWLs Readathon for me. I'm just reading it for funsies because I started it last month and I want to continue it. I'm quite intrigued by it actually. I will probably end up continuing with the series. So it's about Bella Swan who moves to Forks to live with her dad. She's previously been living in Phoenix with her mum, but she hates Forks. She is doing this for her mum so that her mum can move in with her mum's new husband so that she will be happy even if it makes Bella really depressed. She goes to school and then she sets eyes on the magical Edward Cullen, who is very alluring and intriguing, and he has some superhuman abilities, so Bella is trying to find out what or who he is and also why she feels connected towards him. And I am 162 pages in, so I will be continuing this read in March. So onto the OWLs. The first OWL that I have to pass is the subject that you want to teach, and when I watched Harry Potter movies, charms was always my favourite subject. And here on the page before in my journal I have the letter from Professor McGonagall, of course, and I have the list of prompts here. So for charms, I was studying Lumos Maxima and the book has to have a white cover. So for that I am reading The Hunger Games Catching Fire. Well, this is a sequel and I actually haven't read The Hunger Games, the first book, so I can't really say much about that. But I am reading The Hunger Games as another prompt, so I will get to that in the prompt that it covers, and I'll probably hold up this one as well. As you can see, it's a white cover. It's not all white, but mostly white. Yes. I need Defense Against the Dark Arts, which is a book set at sea or on the coast. So for this I am using Son of Neptune as the second book in the Heroes of Olympus series by Riordan. I have been told that they do some sailing in it, by my friend Samara. I'm going to count it because I don't really have any others that are always set on the coast, but I feel like if it's on the sea at any point, then it's okay. And I will also be reading the first book in this series at a later prompt, so that will be coming, and I'll explain what it's about and stuff later. 5 additional subjects of your choice. So I am taking astronomy, history of magic, muggle studies, potions and transfiguration for my extra 5. Astronomy is night classes. Read majority of this book when it's dark outside. I will be reading The Hunger Games, the first book. And so The Hunger Games, if you don't know, I'm pretty sure most of you probably know what The Hunger Games is about, but for those of you like me and haven't read it, it is about just dystopian society. A war has occurred in their society, and they do the Hunger Games each year as a reminder that we don't want another war to happen. So each year, 2 people from each district are chosen, 1 boy and 1 girl, into the Hunger Games, where they all go to the capital and basically fight it out to the death. And this is of course by Suzanne Collins, and I'm also reading Catching Fire as I mentioned earlier. So book 1, book 2. For the next subject I am taking, I have chosen History of Magic, which is Witch Hunts, a book featuring witches or wizards. And for that I am reading Becoming Jinn by Goldstein. These people are not technically witches, but they are Jinn, I believe, and they have some sort of magical power. I do not really know what this book is about, but I think it's a coming of age story about a girl named Azra, where she claims her status as being a Jinn, I guess. And this book has a sequel, so if I like it then I'll read it, but I don't think it has a very good average rating on Goodreads when I looked at it. I got this book from a big book bundle that my mum bought for me and my sister, so it is secondhand, and that's why the top pages are a bit more yellow than the side, but that's okay, you know. This one has been on my TBR for a long while, and I've been wanting to read it for ages. So I will for History of Magic. The next subject that I am doing is Muggle Studies, a book from a perspective of a Muggle, a contemporary, and for that I'm reading the children's classic Wonder by J Palacio. This is about August, who has a condition. His face looks slightly different than everyone else's face, and I think it is his story of his life, pretty much, how he came to be. I haven't watched the movie, I don't really know much about it, but I do know that this is a very sweet story. My mum had it and then she gifted it to me, so I will hopefully enjoy it. I will be taking potions as my 6th subject. We're studying Shrinking Solution, a book under 150 pages. So for this, I am not reading the entire Chronicles of Narnia, but I will be reading the first book, which is The Magician's Nephew. It is 107 pages, I think, so that fits that. And I have been wanting to do a reread of the Chronicles of Narnia. My dad read them to me and my sister a long while ago, and I wanted to reread them for myself again. It is, the most famous one in this book is the second one, which is The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, which you probably know. So Narnia is this magical land found in a wardrobe, and it's just about these kids' adventures inside it and their parents not believing them that there's this magical world. And that is the Chronicles of Narnia. I assume you all probably know what it's about. And my last subject, which I am taking, is Transfiguration. We're doing an animagus lecture, a book or series that includes shapeshifting. I am, of course, reading The Lost Hero, which is the first book in the Heroes of Olympus series by Riordan. And I'm also, as I said earlier, reading the second one, Son of Neptune. So I believe this is kind of a continuation of the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. It follows 3 new demigods, I believe, and each chapter is a different one of them. So here we have Leo, and then there's Jason and Piper as well. At the end of the Percy Jackson series there was this massive prophecy. I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil the Percy Jackson series, but I assume that this has some form of relating to that. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I assume that this book relates to that somehow, and I actually have this whole series back at my mum's house, so after I've read these 2 then I'll probably continue with the series. And I also have the 3rd Hunger Games book, Mockingjay, and that will be perfect because of the new Hunger Games prequel that's coming out called, I think it's A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which seems pretty interesting. I don't really know what it's about, just that it's around the 10-year anniversary of the war. I do want to read that after I've read the first series, of course, the Hunger Games. And I think that is all I really wanted to say. Hopefully I do succeed in becoming a Hogwarts professor, but of course we won't know until after August when the NEWTs happen and see if I pass or not. So thank you to each and every one of you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned in this video. Specifically Becoming Jinn, because this is the one which I've had the least reviews about. So I'd love to know what you all think about this one. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye!